Welcome back to the Deep Dive Year 12. You're with us for part 3 of our series, all about locking in for the HSC.
Yeah, helping you get set up for the year.
Exactly. And look, if that pressure is already starting to feel a bit intense, you're definitely not alone. The HSC, it can seem massive, can't
Oh,
it?
absolutely. It's a marathon.
But our whole aim here is to give you some really practical, effective strategies and, importantly, understand why they actually work.
Mm-hmm. So you can navigate it all with a bit more confidence. We've looked at expert advice, student experiences.
Yeah, trying to cut through all the noise and just focus on stuff that genuinely makes a difference.
Precisely. It's not just a checklist. We want to explore the thinking behind it all. Because when you get the why, you're, much more likely to stick with things.
Makes sense. And this is going to be balanced, right? Both of us chipping in, looking at things from different angles, keeping it real for the HSC.
Definitely. So where do we start?
Okay, let's dive straight in with, well, planning. Seems obvious, maybe.
Sure.
But a good planner, it's like your mission control for the year.
Totally. We saw some stuff from Aaron Condren emphasizing having it all in one spot. What do you reckon is the biggest win from using a planner properly?
For me, it's probably just getting things out of my head.
Yeah.
Reducing that mental load.
Yeah, the mental clutter. That's huge.
Yeah.
Instead of juggling deadlines and assignments in your brain.
You just dump it all out. Condren talks about seeing your whole academic world laid out, classes, projects, the lot, visually.
And that clarity, it really does cut down stress because you're managing things proactively, not just like constantly reacting.
It's like mapping it out makes it feel less, I don't know, overwhelming, more concrete.
Exactly. And they give specific advice, too, on how to actually set it up. It's not just random scribbles.
Right, like including class times, breaks, even teacher contacts, and personal stuff, too.
Social commitments, appointments, hobbies, all of it.
Why is blending all that so important, though, for the HSC?
Well, it comes back to balance, doesn't it? The HSC isn't your entire life, even if it feels like it sometimes. So putting personal stuff in your planner acknowledges it matters for your well-being. It helps stop burnout.
Ah, okay.
We saw that in the Reddit discussion, too. Students get overwhelmed when study clashes with life. A good planner helps you see those clashes coming.
So you can adjust. Avoid sacrificing everything. That makes a lot of sense. Scheduling downtime almost makes it official.
Yeah, gives it importance. Now, actually using the planner, Condren mentions using monthly calendars for the big picture holidays, big deadlines,
Right, the long-range view.
and then weekly pages for the day-to-day, homework, breaking down bigger tasks. Why do you think that two-level thing works so well?
I guess the monthly view stops you getting blindsided by massive deadlines, right? You see them coming. Lets you plan your energy.
And the weekly view makes it actionable. Like, that huge assignment doesn't feel so scary if you see it broken into smaller chunks each week.
Yeah, exactly. That idea of breaking things down came up elsewhere, too. It builds momentum. Seeing progress, even small steps, is a huge motivator for the long haul of the HSC. Totally. Those small wins keep you going. Okay, but the big question, digital or physical planner?
Ah, the great debate.
Yeah. That Reddit thread we looked at had some strong opinions both ways. What were the main points for physical?
Well, a lot of people talked about the tactile thing. Actually, writing stuff down helps them remember it better, process it.
I get that.
And some felt it was quicker to just glance at, less distracting than opening an app where you might get sidetracked. Less screen time, maybe?
Okay, makes sense. And the digital fans, what were their arguments?
Flexibility, mostly. Easy to move things around, reschedule. Plus, reminders, syncing across devices. Your schedule is always with you on your phone.
Right, accessibility.
Yeah. And for people who are maybe a bit inconsistent with planning, digital can be easier to adjust,
Yeah.
No messy crossing out.
True. Though setting some of them up can take ages, can't it?
It can, but the versatility is a plus for many. I think the bottom line from that discussion was, like, the best planner is just the one you actually use.
Fair enough. Gotta find what works for you. Okay, so planner sorted. Next step is building that wider, balanced schedule, beyond just the planner itself.
Right, creating a sustainable rhythm. We looked at some advice from Eastern University on this.
What are the basics for setting up a healthy routine during HSC?
They emphasize starting with the non-negotiables. Your fixed stuff, classes, scheduled study blocks, decent sleep, get those in first.
Okay, but the pillars of your week.
Yeah. Then you consciously fill the gaps with other essentials, meals, exercise, seeing mates, actual downtime, self-care.
So it's intentional, not just leftover time.
Exactly. It's proactively scheduling all of it. It underlines that well-being supports your study. It's not separate.
And that idea of breaking down big study blocks, that came up again with Eastern Uni too, didn't it?
Yeah. Consistently recommended. Why do you reckon that is?
I guess trying to cram for like 5 hours straight just doesn't work. Your brain switches off.
Pretty much. Diminishing returns. Working in focused chunks, maybe 45, 50 minutes, then a short break. It keeps your concentration sharper.
Right. And the breaks let your brain actually absorb things.
Yeah, consolidate it. Makes big tasks feel less huge too, and promotes more active learning, not just passive reading.
Okay. Eastern Uni also mentioned learning to say no and building in flexibility. That could be tough for HSC students, feeling the pressure to do everything.
Really tough. But saying no to stuff that isn't essential protects your time and energy. They're finite resources, especially now.
You have to be a bit ruthless sometimes.
You kind of do. Be selective. It ensures you've got enough in the tank for study and staying sane, and flexibility. That's just realism.
Life happens, right?
Exactly. Unexpected things crop up. Having some buffer time means you can adapt without the whole week falling apart. It's a big stress reducer.
Good point. And finally, they said review and adjust the schedule regularly. It's not set in stone.
Definitely not. Your needs change. Term 1 schedule might not work come trial time.
So you need to check in. Ask
Yeah.
yourself if it's actually working.
Yeah. Are you overwhelmed? Getting enough sleep? Constantly skipping something? That reflection lets you tweak it so it keeps supporting you. Being responsive to yourself.
Okay, got it. So plan made, schedule balanced,
Yeah.
but then you look at your list and it's massive. How do you decide what to actually do first? Prioritization.
Crucial skill. We looked at things like the urgency versus importance matrix, sometimes called the Eisenhower matrix.
Right. How does that help you choose?
It's a really clear visual. You basically sort tasks into 4 boxes based on 2 questions. Is it urgent? And is it important for your goals?
Okay, 4 quadrants.
Yep. Quadrant 1,
Yep.
urgent ADE, important. These are your fires to put out. Do them now, top priority.
Got it. Like an assignment due tomorrow.
Exactly. Quadrant 2, important but not urgent. This is key. Long-term revision, planning essays, researching. This is where you want to spend most of your time.
Because it stops things becoming urgent later.
Precisely. It's proactive. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important. These feel pressing, like maybe some emails or requests, but don't really help your HSC goals. Minimize or delegate these if you can.
Tricky ones. They shout the loudest sometimes.
They do. And quadrant 4, not urgent, not important, time wasters, basically. Things to eliminate, Netflix binges maybe, unless scheduled as a break.
Right. So using that matrix helps you see what really matters versus what just feels noisy.
Exactly. Distinguishes the truly critical stuff.
Okay. And then there was the ABC method as well. How's that different?
ABC's maybe a bit more straightforward, simpler ranking. You just label tasks. A is must do. High priority, critical, deadlines looming. B's is should do. Important over time, but not immediate, medium priority.
Right.
And C is nice to do. Low priority right now, stuff you tackle only if A's and B's are done.
So you just work through the A's first, then B's, then C's.
Pretty much. It creates a clear hierarchy, keeps you focused on the high impact items for your HSC.
Makes sense. We also saw some practical questions, adapted from David Allen, to ask yourself moment to moment. What were those?
Yeah, they're about making smart choices based on your immediate context. Like, what can I actually do right here, right now?
Using small pockets of time, like
Yeah.
reviewing notes on the bus.
Exactly. Don't waste those bits of time. Another key one is, how much energy and focus do I have right now?
Oh, that's good. Matching the task to your mental state.
Right. Don't try to write a complex essay when you're exhausted. Maybe do some organizing or lighter reading then.
Yeah, and the highest payoff question.
Yeah, what task will give me the biggest bang for my buck towards my HSC goals? Focus on those high-impact activities, even if they're not the easiest or quickest. Be strategic.
Good questions to keep in mind. And there were some simpler tips too, like color coding or breaking tasks down into sublists.
Yeah, visual and structural aids. Color coding gives you that instant visual cue, red for urgent, maybe. Whatever works for you.
Makes it easy to scan your list.
And breaking big tasks down, we mentioned it before, but it just makes them feel less intimidating. Gives you a clear roadmap, step by step. Creates that sense of progress.
Which is motivating. Okay, right. So you're planned, scheduled, prioritized. How do you actually do the work without getting lost down a YouTube rabbit hole? Productivity and tackling procrastination.
The doing part. Yeah, effective planning helps, but there are other things. We saw tips from places like Axis Institute and others. What stood out?
Creating a dedicated study space seems key, somewhere you associate with work.
Definitely. Minimizes distractions, helps you switch into study mode, and
Right.
regular short breaks, absolutely vital.
Prevents burnout, keeps you focused longer term.
Identifying your peak energy times, too. Do your hardest work when you're sharpest.
Morning person or night owl. Work with it, not against it.
Exactly. And the big one, actively eliminate distractions. Phone on silent, notifications off. Sounds simple, but it's crucial for deep work.
Yeah, those pings are killer for concentration. Axes also mentioned planning rewards. How does that help?
It taps into basic psychology, right?
Yeah.
Positive reinforcement. Set small rewards for hitting milestones.
Like what? A break? An episode of a show?
Yeah, something you enjoy. It creates a positive link with studying, makes it feel less like a grind, more like achievable steps with nice outcomes, boosts motivation.
Okay, I like that. Now, procrastination. The beast.
Ah, yes. The McGraw Center insights were interesting here. They stressed it's often not just being lazy.
Right. It's deeper. Psychological factors. Fear of failure, maybe.
Often, yeah. Or feeling overwhelmed, perfectionism, anxiety about how you'll perform. Understanding that root cause is the first step to tackling it.
So it's not about just forcing yourself with willpower.
Not entirely. That often fails. If you know why you're putting it off, maybe fear you can address that, not just the symptom of delaying. Need self-awareness.
Okay. And they talked about shifting focus from fear to positive motivation. What does it look like practically?
It means focusing on, say, the goal of learning something interesting or the satisfaction of mastering a tough concept, rather than just avoiding a bad mark.
Connect it to your interests or future goals.
Yeah, find ways to make the learning active and engaging for you. That naturally boosts motivation and makes procrastination less tempting. You're focusing on what you want to achieve, not just what you dread.
Makes sense. And they had some really practical tips too, right, for actually breaking the procrastination cycle. Any top ones for students to try this week?
The commit to a small task one is gold. If you're avoiding a big essay, just tell yourself, okay, I'll work on it for just 15 minutes.
Break the inertia.
Exactly. Often, just starting is the hardest part. Once you're in it, it's easier to keep going.
I like that. Lowers the barrier.
Another one is focusing on what you want to do within your study. Maybe start with a topic you find more interesting to build momentum. Create positive feelings around study.
Nice. Choose your surroundings wisely too, right? Library, not bad.
Definitely. Environment matters. And positive self-talk. Be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you slip up. Just refocus.
Okay, wow. We've covered a serious amount of ground there.
We have. From planning tools, digital, physical, to balanced schedules.
Prioritization with things like the Eisenhower matrix and ABC.
Productivity boosters, understanding procrastination. It's a lot.
But hopefully really useful. Remember, everyone, these aren't rigid rules. They're tools. Tools to empower you through the HSC.
Yeah, the goal is to make this whole year feel more manageable, less overwhelming,
Yeah.
to help you succeed and look after yourself.
So here's your challenge for this week.
Yeah.
Pick just one strategy we talked about. Maybe it's finally setting up that planner properly. Maybe trying the 15-minute task trick.
Or using the urgency importance matrix on your to-do list tonight.
Whatever it is, just try one thing and notice how it feels. How does it impact your study, your stress levels?
Because honestly, consistent use of even one or two of these can make a huge difference over time. It builds positive momentum.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We really hope it helps you lock in.
Yeah, good luck putting some of this into action. We'll be back soon with more strategies to help you ace your HSC year.